CF it's like your enemy in a way, and you're always fighting it. And sometimes it's on your side and sometimes it's not. My way to combat CF and some of the experiences I've had and the experiences in that CF community, the people I've lost or that have been lost along the way, the challenges I've seen and the incredible teams at the Alfred and other centres, I just wanted to create something beautiful and make something beautiful out of something that wasn't so beautiful. That inspires me every day. Life can be really tough and you can focus on that or you could choose to do something differently. My name is Nardia and I'm 57 and I have CF. I am married with 3 stepchildren who are like my own and 7 grandchildren and 1 fur baby. Some of my biggest challenges living with CF, I was diagnosed with bowel cancer, stage 3, when I just turned 41. It was frightening, overwhelming and difficult, but I had a great team at the Alfred, so my heroes. We worked through that. I had a bowel resection, I had chemotherapy, and I had quite a quick decline in terms of weight and lung function. And then in 2012, I was told the bowel cancer had travelled to my lung. So that was really scary, and with a great team and great support with family, my husband, my mother, my medical team, we got through that too. I had a lung resection. It was the first to be done, I think, on somebody with CF at that time. There's a team of 30 people involved in my care, managing my lungs, post-op, rehab. It was the most intense period I've ever experienced, sort of pure focus on getting me through that operation. And it was planned to within an inch of my life. Although my lung function during and after that operation did begin to decline, I knew I was staring down the barrel of needing a transplant in the future. It was complicated because to go on the list for a transplant, you need to be 5 years clear of cancer, and I still had 5 years to go. I then had a period of trying to stay as well as I could to get on the list and possibly receive a transplant. I tried to set a goal of staying above 50% lung function and staying above 50 kilos. That was my goal, and that felt like an easy goal to have while I was dealing with everything else. Cancer wasn't on their radar as far as I know. It was really new to the CF community. Professor John Wilson was a huge support during that process. I think we were all learning on that path in a sense. They didn't have a lot of data research, and we're all fighting for not just my health but also future people with CF, and come up with a plan for not just me but for the entire community, and finding solutions and finding a way forward. At the time also, this gene therapy was becoming widely used. I didn't meet the requirements for some of the earlier gene modulators, but on the horizon was a Combi, which was coming to Australia. It wasn't on the PBS, and I knew that I didn't have time to wait. My team, particularly John, advocated for me and got me that drug, compassionate access scheme. It was a wait, and there were lots of letters and I think a lot of communication with Vertex. Thank you very much, Vertex. And although it didn't improve my lung function, it stabilised me. I went from 9 admissions in 1 year, and that year that I started the pill, I had about 3 admissions. So it was a huge difference in terms of my life, my lifestyle, but also stabilising my health. It felt like a bit like Viagra for CF. So it felt really exciting, and part of this amazing team who was so passionate about the medication and the drug and the hopes for what it might do for somebody like myself. My approach to my health was driven by my mother and my grandmother, very strong women, determined, and really wanted me to live as normal a life as possible. But she was really a fantastic mum. She really wanted to show us a life. We were out at art galleries, got involved in horse riding and went to pony club and had a horse which I adored. Lived in the country in Wangaratta, and that was really key and critical to my approach to life and to staying well mentally, emotionally, physically. When I met my husband at 28, he was also became a huge part of my team and is my, right in my corner and wouldn't allow me to sit around and mope. He'd be forcing me out the door walking and, we did renovations and travel. So I think you've got to surround yourself by good people and people who are positive and people who are motivated. That helps you achieve the things you want to. And the reality is I know that life will probably be shorter for me, so I don't want to waste a minute. Before transplant, you only know the body you've got and you only know CF. You don't know life without CF. Post-transplant, when I look back, I was fucking sore. I just didn't know any different. I had some really intense periods of pain. The pain was that bad. Every minute seems like an hour. That was horrendous. Just is what it is. Just something to distract me is the best way to manage it, as well as, all the pain medication you can find. Menopause and perimenopause, super exciting when you've got CF because nobody thought you were going to get this. I started going through perimenopause about 48, but we're not really sure it was menopause because it was also when I was becoming incredibly unwell. It was so mixed up with pre-transplant infections, so I didn't know whether the hot flushes were temperature or it was all over the place. So we did some testing and I was in perimenopause. So I think most of my menopause symptoms were overshadowed by, my worst period of my CF life. I knew I was going through it, but it was very mixed up with everything else because everything else was happening at the time was so much more the focus of my health. The main thing that brings me joy is just being alive, having independence. We live down on the Mornington Peninsula. I've got a dog that we walk when my husband drags me out the door. We entertain a lot. I love cooking, love eating, textiles, vintage textiles, fabric and print and colour and design. That is my happy space. I could just do that all day, every day. My first range, all the pieces were named after the medical team. The Tom belt, and John got a great jacket named the Wilson jacket. No, I don't think I'll ever retire, but only because I love what I'm doing. I love working for myself because I choose how hard I work and that gets me the results I get. It has meant that I've got flexibility and I'm keeping it tight and keeping it in a level where I can really enjoy what I do, where I can be creative, but I'm not going to kill myself doing it. I never thought about dying young or anything like that. My goal was to live a full life and do everything everybody else did. None of us can predict the future, whether you've got CF or not. In my mid-20s, I came in with an infection and it was one of the first ones. I had multiple antibiotics at the same time. I had this lovely nurse. I was sort of said, well, what about the long-term effects? And I remember her just looking at me thinking, oh my God, she doesn't know she's going to die. And my personal opinion is, you think long term and you can't control what happens anyway, whether you're, without CF or with CF. I believe to this day that working and loving what I do and getting up and being excited about my day and my work life has really helped me immensely in managing my health. It's given me motivation to get out. It's given me something to be passionate about. So I'm not sitting around thinking about, why me, what if, blah, blah, blah. And it's been a really integral part into my personal life and my creative life and my social life. And I've loved it. Living with CF, I got to know a lot of people in the hospital. Every day you think about those people and you're reminded that, you don't want to waste a minute. I know they would give anything to be here today. You just got to make the most of that. And also there's so many people in your life that have put a lot of time and energy and love into getting you where you are today. Not to mention I've had a transplant, so there's a donor family as well. So you live for them as well. I would say be kind to yourself, do your best, know that you're going to fail sometimes, you're going to get things wrong, but that's okay. Embrace your team. Work with your team, create a great relationship. Surround yourself with your village who can support you and help you, and find something you love, because if you do something you love, then you wake up every day and you want to do it. You want to get out of bed. Enjoy yourself. Be with people who make you feel good and accept you for who you are, and make the most of every day.